Universal Epic Universe is a brand new theme park at the Universal Orlando Resort in Florida. If you're trying to visit this theme park without buying Express, this is going to be the guide for you. Whether or not you have the early park admission from staying at one of the hotels, I still think this is going to be a very helpful guide from someone who has, thankfully, been able to visit the park now over 15 times. I've gone there on days with Express, without Express, days where the park is having a great day, days where there's a lot of rides that are having issues, or a lot of problems with weather. This is a brand new theme park and it's truly incredible. There's 5 different lands, a ton of different attractions, and I think you can make an amazing day out of this. You don't need to buy Express. It can help with you skipping the lines and maybe not planning as much, but if you don't want to spend that money, if you want to visit the park, and I know Express can be a lot, this is going to help you out. Here's everything you need to know about visiting Universal Epic Universe without Express. Now this video is going to go into detail, kind of explaining all of the stuff and kind of a breakdown hour by hour of what you should be doing, how you should be planning your day, and top tips. But if you just want the top 3 things that you need to know, here they are. Start with dragons, check out the Universal Orlando app constantly, and 3, be willing to change your mind. Now I say start with How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk because there are a ton of lands inside of this park. There's 5 total and you're going to be forced to start in Celestial Park. It's kind of like the main street or the hub of the entire park. You'll actually go through Celestial Park all day long as you're jumping from portal to portal and land to land. But when you pick your first land of the day, I highly recommend How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. Now this land has got 3 different rides and I think you should start over at Hiccup's Wing Gliders. It's a roller coaster, it's a great way to start the day, but the queue isn't the world's greatest and it's partially out in the sun, so if you're gonna get through a ride at the beginning, go to one that doesn't have air conditioning built in. It's a great way also just to start the day. It's very exhilarating, it's a lot of fun. It's a family-friendly coaster, it doesn't go upside down or anything, but it gives you a great view of the land and kind of some views throughout the park. Now, the second one, like I said, is to use the Universal Orlando Resort app. If you really want to maximize your day, this might be the most important thing you can possibly use. The Universal Orlando app has some great functions, and if you're not used to Universal Orlando, that's okay. It's similar to the Walt Disney World app, but it has some great features that even Disney doesn't offer. You can set notifications on your phone to know, hey, 30 minutes until that show you want to see, or hey, is a ride down? Here's a notification that the ride is reopened. Or say you're like, I don't want to wait 2 hours for that ride, but I would wait 60 minutes. You can set a notification so if that ride's wait time drops down to 60 minutes, it'll let you know. You can do mobile ordering on there. You can see where the restrooms are. There is a ton of stuff on the Universal Orlando app. I highly recommend setting it up and checking it out before you even step foot inside of the park. It will make your day better. And number 3, be willing to change your mind. As I said, I have been able to go to these parks a lot. I have visited Universal Orlando and Epic Universe on days that are good and days that are bad. There are some days where I feel like I've got it all set up. I walk into a certain land, let's say Super Nintendo World for an example, and as soon as you walk into the land, a ride goes down. Your plan gets thrown around. Yes, you just entered the land, but don't commit to a bad idea. I highly recommend turn around, go to a different land, switch things up. You never know when a ride is going to reopen. You hope it's going to be quick, but it would stink to wait around for an hour for a ride that might already have guests waiting inside of it who are also broken down inside of that ride. Rain happens, weather happens, ride breakdowns, people in your party get hungry, and even though you told them all to go get a snack, they didn't get a snack at that exact time. Be willing to turn around, be willing to make some decisions. Yes, this is difficult if you have someone in your party in a wheelchair or if you're using a stroller while you're going through the park, but if you see a 2.5 hour long line in front of you, don't think that it's magically just going to become 60 minutes. And if that's not something you're willing to wait, if you think that could be a problem with family members, with kids, don't let it be a problem. Don't let your entire day be ruined for a 60-second ride. I'm looking at you, Donkey Kong, and I'm looking at you, Harry Potter. Both wonderful attractions that I love, both rides that have very, very long lines. And that's going to have to be something you're just going to have to look at and decide as a family and decide as a group before you get in line. So, if that's all you needed out of the video, yeah, use those 3 things. Start with dragons, use the app, be willing to change your mind. But now I'm going to go in depth down a guide that I've made, and there's going to be a link in the description of this video for you to be able to check out entirely what you should do throughout your day and a breakdown. And now that I've gone multiple times to this park, I have been able to basically test these theories out, and it works 90% of the time. Of course, rides can go down and stuff, and shows can get mixed around, and maybe you have to move your day a little bit. But if you generally follow this plan, it's a way to be able to check out all of the attractions at the park, all of the shows, and still get some great food in. Check it out. Before we get into all the details, there's two things I need to talk about: wands and power-up bands. The power-up bands can be used at Super Nintendo World. The wands can be used inside of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. Now, I do recommend buying one of these if someone in your party really is a fan. If you love Nintendo, if you love playing those games, these are super fun. You do not need one for everybody in your party. You just don't. You can just get a couple of these, depending on what the size of your party is and who wants to hit the blocks. When you punch a block, it does actually make different noises. This allows you to go to different games, and there is a hidden fourth attraction inside of Super Nintendo World that can only be visited if someone in your party has completed 3 key missions, and those are little things you can do with the power-up bands. For the wands, there are multiple types of Harry Potter wands. There is the first generation, like you can see here, and then there's the new generation that they sell at Universal Epic Universe. That kind, the tip of the wand can light up, it can connect to your phone, you can play like games and everything. And it's a little bit more expensive, but they're all usually about under $100. So, if that's one of the things you think you might want to do, I do think that these can be worth it. I think they can add a lot of fun to your day. When you're going inside of the Wizarding World, you can explore all over the place and do little things with this, and there's fun moments. If you don't want to pay for it, there's someone around you somewhere that is doing it that you can watch. The power-up bands, they've got the advantage of they can track you throughout the day. You can see if you were the best player inside of the land, and it can let you into that hidden fourth attraction. I will say it's not like a huge ride. It's a big IMAX screen where everyone in the party gets to become kind of like a video game character. It's a lot of fun, but don't think it's like a hidden roller coaster inside of the land. You can buy these. I don't think that you need one for everyone in your party. But if you do want to, check out a wand, and if you do want to get a power-up band, there is a website where you can actually go and rent these. So if you want one, but you're like, what am I going to do with it when I get home? There is a website. It's called wizardsandplumbers.com. It's a spot where you can go rent out a ton of these. You can get like 5 different of these bands, these power-up bands. You can even get a version that already has done all of the key challenges. So when you go to the park, you can go straight on that fourth attraction. That allows you to be able to go and not have to spend as much time in the day if you don't want to play the games. I assume you're going to, but if you just want to skip it, or if you want to just have one of the power-up bands with it, you can go and play that game, then let all the kids go and do it. Same thing for the wands. You can get the normal kind, you can get a pretty kind, you can get the newest generation. They rent all of those, and you can use our promo code EYNTK. You get 5% off your order. They're going to ship it out to you. You get multiple weeks to be able to use these products. Might be something you want to think about, especially if you have a large family and you want to use a lot of these, but you don't really want to take one home when you're done with it. All right, now let's get down into the hour-by-hour, ride-by-ride breakdown. This entire thing is going to be based off of a guide that I made that you can download and print out, save onto your phone. It's all going to be in the link in the description of this video, but I'm basically just going to be going down that list and explaining to you why I made each of these decisions. As I said at the beginning of the video, start with How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk. You're going to want to head straight there as soon as the park opens. If you have early park admission and some of those rides are not going to be offered or that land isn't offered at front, go do something like Stardust Racers or maybe the Constellation Carousel, but really something in Stardust. Keep yourself inside of Celestial Park instead of running into a land and then running into another land. Trust me, you're already going to be doing a lot of running around because you don't have Express. Now, you're going to head over into How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and go straight to Hiccup's Wing Gliders. I think this is one of the best rides in the entire park with one of the worst queues. It's outside, you just go back and forth, it never seems to end, it can be in the sun partially, and it's not a super exciting queue. It's a great ride. The queue is not that great. Get in there before the crowds really start rushing, and enjoy a fantastic way to start the day. It has great music, it's got a great storyline, you get to go through the land, and it's a great starter coaster if you have kids that maybe don't know if they want to go on some of the bigger rides. This is a family-friendly style coaster. It's going to launch, but nothing upside down. Once you're done with that, go and pick one of the other 2 rides inside of How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. That's going to be Dragon Racers Rally, which is considered a flat ride. You sit inside of a seat, picks you up as it goes around and around. Or the other one is Fire Drill. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Fire Drill, you can get a little bit of splashed, maybe some water, or completely soaked. And that does change for every single ride. So it is a wet ride. Be prepped for that. Great on a hotter day, but just so you know, if you're starting your day with it, there is a chance you can get soaked. After this, you're going to want to check the wait times for Stardust Racers in Celestial Park and The Curse of the Werewolf in Dark Universe. I recommend heading to whichever of those is going to have a shorter line. Usually, that's going to be Stardust Racers. Now, Stardust Racers has two versions. The rides are basically the similar, but there's a yellow side and there's a green side, and they do have a slight difference. My top recommendation with this ride is to ride one time during the day and then come back after sunset and do it a second time. There's a nighttime audio track that is completely different from the daytime track, and doing it at night is a really fun experience. So, you're probably going to go to the Isle Berg and then leave from there to be able to go on Stardust Racers. Either side you want, that doesn't really matter. After that, check up on the wait times for Constellation Carousel. Constellation Carousel is beautiful. It is a stunning carousel and something that I do think is a fun part of the day, but I would not wait 40 minutes for basically any carousel. And it can get a longer wait, especially later at night. It is pretty at night. I don't think it's worth 40 minutes. So you should go earlier in the day when it's very normal for it to have a 5 or a 10-minute wait in those first couple of hours of the park being open. After this, you've already now done 2, 3, maybe 4 rides, depending on exactly how you were timing it out. Go and grab a snack. You're going to be in Celestial Park. There's ice cream there. Maybe it's too early for ice cream. That's okay. They have 2 Starbuckses inside of Celestial Park. They've got hot dogs. They've got bao buns. They've got nearby spots like Pizza Moon. Or you can head over and get one of my personal favorites, the mango bread from Oak and Star. They're little sides that you can buy of mango bread. They're delicious. They don't really taste like mangoes. More like pumpkin to me, but either way, they are really, really good. After you've gotten your snack, check on the wait times for Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment, and for every single ride at Super Nintendo World. The reason you're doing this is, if there is a drop in Super Nintendo World wait times, you basically want to run there, because the rest of the park will also be doing the same thing. I love Super Nintendo World. It's beautiful, it is amazing, but it's crazy. It is the busiest part of the park, it's the loudest part of the park, it's the brightest part of the park. The characters are all over the place, the music is all over the place. You gotta go into that just accepting that it is going to be busy and a little bit crazy when you head into Super Nintendo World. The kids love it, they might not notice all the chaos, but you as a parent, you're probably gonna notice. So, I say to check up on the wait times. If at this time Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment is at about 45 minutes or less, you should go ahead and enjoy that attraction. It usually doesn't get over an hour, the ride is really efficient, but you've already been able to go through Celestial Park, you've already done the Isle of Berg, swing into Dark Universe, especially if you've already done the Curse of the Werewolf attraction, and then jump on Monsters Unchained. Now parents, warning, this ride is a little scary. This is going to be using a ride vehicle where you're sitting inside of the hand of a moving vehicle. You're inside the hand and it can move you forward, backward, left, and right, lean you on the back, and it is driving through a castle. It's a very fun ride. If you love the Universal monsters, if you love some of the older characters like the Mummy, the Vampire, Dracula, if you love some of those older characters, it is a blast. It is a marvel of engineering and a wonderful attraction. But you are going to see Dracula basically attempt to kill you, and so because of that, kids might be a little scared. Again, that's up to you as a parent to decide, but if the queue is scaring them, the ride's going to as well. Next, you're going to head to Super Nintendo World. Whether Monsters Unchained was too busy or you just did that ride and you're coming from it, head to Super Nintendo World and potentially buy a power-up band. Maybe you got and rented it or bought it beforehand, or you're going to purchase it right when you go there. Again, I don't think it's necessary for every single person who's visiting this park, but if you love Nintendo, if you love the games, that might be something that's really worth your money. At this point, you're going to want to go and check on the Yoshi's Adventure and the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge wait times. I'm going to be real honest with you. Mario Kart is going to have a long line. Sometimes it's short, and I hope for you that that is true. It's probably going to have a long line. If you see it 60 minutes, that's probably really good. It's normal to see this ride have an hour and a half, 2-hour long waits. Now the queue is super fun. It's a great way to look around. Kids can get very entertained with all the stuff they can look at. It's in the air conditioning, so there's a lot of perks for that, for it having a longer wait. It's going to have a longer wait. Now, on the other hand, Yoshi's Adventure. I have seen people wait 45 minutes and an hour for this ride. Please don't do that. Yoshi's Adventure, its wait time will drop under 30 minutes throughout the day. That has almost never happened where I have not seen it drop under 30 minutes. Maybe you really want to do it multiple times during the day and you're willing to wait that time. It also has a fun queue. It's got a power-up band activity inside of the queue. Awesome. trust me, if you are looking at the ride and you go, that doesn't look worth 45 minutes, I agree with you. You should wait until later in the day. It's probably going to be 15 or 20 minutes. Another thing to keep an eye on. Again, you're going to want to be checking the Universal Orlando app kind of often, multiple times an hour if you're trying to maximize your day. I know not everyone wants to be on their phone all the time, but it will actually make your day better. One of the reasons you're definitely going to want to check your phone is to see when Mario and Luigi or Princess Peach are meeting inside of Super Nintendo World. There's a lot of character activities inside of Universal Epic Universe. Not all of them are they going to have their listed time, and some of them have insane times, like meeting Toothless the Dragon over at the How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berkland. It's normal for that meet and greet for that dragon to be over an hour and a half. And it is a long hour and a half because every person gets a really nice interaction, but because they all get a nice interaction, you will watch and just watch and wait. So, if you want to have a shorter meet and greet that's still very memorable, you can meet Mario and Luigi together or Princess Peach. Those wait times are going to be listed onto the app, and it's going to tell you exactly when the characters are going to come out. I personally recommend, say that Mario and Luigi are coming out at 12 o'clock. Get in line at 11:45. There may or may not be a team member out there at that time to say exactly where to stand, but you can stand in the general area. If you're waiting for Mario and Luigi, it's going to be on the bottom floor in the center of the land near the big piranha plants. Princess Peach is going to be on the top floor right near her castle. The reason I recommend getting in line at about 15 minutes in advance is because sometimes so many people get in line that the line is full before the characters even come out. As I said, Super Nintendo World, very, very busy. So, these are great characters. The team members are going to take your phone. You don't have to pay for their photo options, and they can take the photos of you. You get a cool moment. The characters themselves are pretty cool. And eventually, one day, Toad will come back, but as the time of making this video, he doesn't really show up. So, you can go to this land, you can go in and meet those characters. It is such a cool photo op and a kind of a great way to wrap up and see characters if that's something that you want to do throughout your day. At this point, check for your midday meal break and for the show times, and you can kind of pick which one of those are better for you at that time. So, there's Le Cirque Arcanu inside of the Harry Potter land, and there's the Untrainable Dragon inside of the How to Train Your Dragon land. I think both shows are great. Both shows you want to show up about 20 minutes before the show begins, and both shows last about 20-25 minutes. When you're seeing these shows, I think that both of them are family friendly. I don't think that there's a moment that will really scare a kid or anything that you should avoid it for that. But when we're looking at the two shows, How to Train Your Dragon show, the Untrainable Dragon, leans a little bit more towards the younger kids, where Le Cirque Arcanu inside the Harry Potter section leans a little bit more towards adults. Now, again, both of them are very family friendly, but it's just the Untrainable Dragon one definitely leans towards more like a 20-minute episode about how to train your dragon, gives a little backstory, has some fun music, great visual effects, but it definitely leans more for kids. Where Le Cirque Arcanu has some wonderful effects, but it's got a storyline that maybe the kids won't necessarily catch on their first time fully. But again, wonderful effects, it's beautiful. It's not like a very, very scary show that the kids need to avoid. So I recommend checking out which of those shows you want to go see, get in line, enjoy a wonderful show, and a seat, and air conditioning. Very important for the middle of your day. Now, maybe you saw the shows first, now it's time to get some lunch, or vice versa. Really do it whichever way works for you. There's a lot of spots to be able to eat at Universal Epic Universe, and in my opinion, it's the best food that Universal has basically ever done inside of their park. I was never the biggest fan of Universal's food prior to this park. I felt that they had a lot of cheeseburger, chicken nugget, pizza options. This park totally blows that out of the water. Now, I just said the word pizza. I'm about to recommend a pizza. Pizza Moon inside of Celestial Park. Incredible. They can seat a ton of people there. Their pizza is fantastic. They've got some great dessert options, and they all have, at basically every single food spot you're going to go to, they have the Coca-Cola machines that let you pick just a plethora of different soda options, and so you can kind of get whatever you need to there. That is a great one. There's another large restaurant inside of Celestial Park. It's called the Oak and Star, and they sell barbecue there. I'm personally not the biggest fan of barbecue in Florida. I feel like Floridian theme parks just don't do it as well as Texas does and other locations that I've been to. But if you're feeling for some barbecue, that's another option. There's also the Harry Potter French Cafe. You're just going to call it the French Cafe because its actual name is Café Lier de la Sarine. It's the French Cafe. No one's going to remember that correctly. It has wonderful sandwiches. It also has chicken nuggets for the kids that are picky, so that's a great spot because not every place has chicken nuggets. But it has a lot of great sandwiches. It's got Parisian-style food. You can sit indoors, you can sit outdoors, and much like the Oak and Star and Pizza Moon, it has plenty of seats for a large group. Another spot that has some great open seating is the Toadstool Cafe. That's going to be inside of Super Nintendo World. So, we've had some food, we've seen some shows, we've checked out most of the lands at this point, and we're going to go see what we're going to do next. Now, there's a couple of different options. You can go and jump on the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness ride. Okay, this is where I gotta stop. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. It is shaky. Some people like that, some people don't. It is aggressive, it's a very fun-looking ride, but I gotta let you know this. It is shaky, it's not the longest ride, it has a very, very long wait. It is normal for me to see people online who are complaining about that they waited this long for this ride. This is not me hating on the ride. I think it's a blast. It feels like Donkey Kong, but you do need to know what you're getting in line for. This will probably be the longest wait of the day. You always hear about Harry Potter's being long, but that ride is getting better and better and better. Donkey Kong, the way that the ride is built, simply cannot handle an enormous amount of people, but every person wants to go on the ride that's Donkey Kong's roller coaster jumping off a track, because that sounds awesome. So, look up the ride, look up the reviews. If you see a 3-hour wait for that ride, you will feel all 3 hours of that wait, so I just think you need to do a little research for that before deciding to get into that line, because you are really dedicating a large portion of your day to that. If you decide you don't want to do that, or better yet, the line's really short and you're able to jump in, either way, you do you when it comes to that ride. But you will notice, I have talked about a lot of the different lands, a lot of the different rides, the shows, and all the things you can do. And I haven't mentioned Harry Potter Battle at the Ministry, like, at all. This is the one Harry Potter ride inside the park. And the reason I have not mentioned it is please, please, please do not rush this ride in the morning. I don't care if you have early park admission. Honestly, I don't even care if you have express. Do not run to this ride in the morning. This ride has been out now since May 22nd when the park opens, and there is just something about this ride. It can't do mornings. It is one of the most impressive visual experiences you will ever see on a ride. Truly incredible. I am not saying to skip this ride, but I am saying do not go there before lunchtime. The ride needs its caffeine. It needs to wake up. It has things to work through. When you see the complaints of a 4 or a 5-hour wait for this ride, they're true, because people will get there, and then the ride breaks for 45 minutes, and then they go a little bit farther in line, and then the ride breaks for another 20 minutes, and then it does this. I hope that the ride can get up to a level where it's just a lot more consistent, but for whatever reason, it needs 2 to 3 hours almost every single day to be able to catch up with itself. It is very normal to see this ride have a 90-minute or less wait, like 5 o'clock on. Universal is going to post a sign outside of the park. It's going to say that this ride is closing early. Now, it really might be, but don't think that that means the ride's closing at like 3 p.m. That usually means that it's closing about an hour and a half to 2 hours before the park does, and really it's just, if there's a 2-hour wait, they want to make sure that the ride is closing at a reasonable time to let the team members, the employees, go home. Wait to go on this ride. Trust me, wait to go on this ride. There can always be exceptions, and maybe you'll see a 40-minute wait in the morning, and if so, go and check it out. I hope it works out for you, but that just simply does not happen. The two biggest problems in the park right now, in my personal opinion, is definitely Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. The ride takes forever because of the amount of people it can hold. Harry Potter can hold an enormous amount of people, but it just needs a couple of hours to drink its coffee before it starts working at its full speed. So, after you've already gone to and started your day at How to Train Your Dragon, you went to Celestial Park, you went on Stardust, you explored Dark Universe, you've seen Super Nintendo World, you're going to be able to head into Paris, into the Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry attraction inside of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, the land. Yes, the names are confusing. But when you head into this land, it's so gorgeous. Take your pictures, explore, see some of the entertainment. They've got roaming characters. You can go on this ride. The queue is amazing. Fantastic. Just please wait till after lunch. I promise it's going to make your day better. After that, you've now gone on this attraction. You've now seen other things throughout the park. This is kind of where the guide is a little more open-ended. At this point, I kind of say, just look, go to an earlier attraction that you didn't get to do, or maybe head back to a personal favorite. It also could be a great time for you to go and check out your power-up band, your hidden fourth attraction. That one is going to be the Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. Again, this is not like a monster-sized ride, but it is a really fun activity, and I do think that families and groups, especially those that love video games and Nintendo, will really get a great experience out of this. It doesn't take too much out of your day, but you are able to go and do some of those games leading up to it, and then you kind of get like a finale. It really does make the theme park feel like a video game, more so than any theme park I've ever visited. So that is really cool. After you've done that, you've gone on 1 or 2 more rides, maybe you did the power-up band experiences or did some wand stuff. You can then go and get yourself another snack or a drink. At this point, the sun is probably setting, or it has already set, and you'll be able to just go around Celestial Park, see some of the fountains going off, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a dessert, walk around some of these lands, and go and enjoy it. That is where we get to Stardust Racers yet again. Once the sun has set, Stardust Racers at night is so much fun. It is a blast no matter what seat you're sitting in. You're racing another roller coaster at night with no lights on the track except the coasters themselves. They're sparkling, the music's blasting, people are screaming, you're flipping up and down over each other. It is a very, very cool way to go into the night at Universal Epic Universe. I highly recommend doing that ride in the daytime and at night if you can. At this point, your day's about to start wrapping up. You've gone into all 5 of the lands, you've seen some shows, you've gotten some food, you've tried some snacks, you got some drinks. What do you do to end your day? To this, I say it's really kind of up to you. There is a show that you can end the night with. It's called the Cosmos Fountain Show. It is a great, great recap for the end of your day. I love fountain shows, and to me, this is spectacular. As of right now, there's no fireworks, no drones, no nothing like that that's attached with it. Even just it being a fountain show, it's about 10 minutes long, and it really kind of feels like a cap to the end of an epic day. There's multiple places for you to sit around the fountains, or you can stand up elsewhere inside the park, but the main fountains are going to be near the Helios Grand Hotel, and I personally recommend to sit not looking at the hotel. Put your back to the hotel and instead stare out towards the Constellation Carousel and Super Nintendo World. The entire land around you, all of Celestial Park, is hooked up to that fountain show. Fountains will be shooting around you. The lights will change. There's surround sound. It's very, very, very cool. And again, kind of a great recap. You also get to sit down, and I don't think parents are going to complain about that. But maybe there was one more ride you really wanted to do. Instead, end your day. Go and try Hiccup's Wing Gliders at night as you're going by some of the Viking areas and seeing the fire that's coming out. That land looks great at night. You can go and maybe try for the Donkey Kong attraction, Minecart Madness, and say, all right, now I'm going to commit. I'm doing this until the end of the day. Heading into Dark Universe, another great option. That land is called Dark Universe. Seeing it at night is great. The Burning Blade Tavern will ignite with fire and start spinning around. Super cool to see. You can go on the Curse of the Werewolf ride at night, and it's a little bit more spookier. You can see some of that lands, and there's sometimes characters that are out depending on what time, how close you got to closing. There's characters out there as well that you can go and take photos with. You can meet the Invisible Man, you can meet Igor, the Bride of Frankenstein, you can meet Creature. He's like the Frankenstein of that land. When you go to that land, you'll learn a little bit more. But use that time to really kind of explore. It's your day, it's the end of the day, and at this point, hopefully you feel like you've really kind of accomplished what you were set out to do. We got to set some realistic expectations. Going into the park on a busy day and expecting to do every single ride in a specific order is probably not going to happen unless you have Express. If you don't have Express, be smart. Use your app. Set those wait times. Set the show times so you know when to go to each place. And when you're in line, use that app to go ahead and pre-order your food for where you're going to eat. If everybody's in line for an hour and you know you're going to eat at Toadstool Cafe after this, hand the phone around to all the kids, all the other family members, and say, what do you want? What are we going to get? Get your thing. Make sure your credit card's set up so then you're just done. The second you walk into that restaurant, you can grab a seat, press order, and get it to you faster and give you more time throughout your day. I think that there is so many amazing and wonderful things about Universal Epic Universe. I truly, truly believe it is one of the greatest theme park experiences that you can have in all of the United States. And trust me, I have been to a lot of our parks. It has so many wonderful things, and I just want you to have the best day possible. Check out the guide, look through your list, set realistic expectations of what wait times are going to be, and I hope you have a truly, truly epic day. If you use this video or the guide that's attached to it, I would love to know. Let me know in your comments, and I hope that months after this video has been posting that there's people who are saying, I followed along and it worked. Have the best day ever. Be willing to switch up your plans if needed. Check the app, but most of all, have a great time. You're stepping into one of the world's newest theme parks. It's fully immersive. Everything to you is brand new. I truly believe, and I hope you can have an epic, epic day at Universal Epic Universe.